Makes back in another video. Hey, thank you to each and every one of you all that have watched every video in this series so far. And now in this video, we're going to talk about disposition. What that is basically how you get in your money. So that is what you all wanted to know from the get-go. However, I still recommend, even if you landed on this video first, to go back and watch every video in this series because they build upon one another. And what could happen is that you jump on one video in the middle of the series, you go out, try to do that, and then you have all these questions and all of these problems because you didn't go through the blueprint. You guys know I'm a big blueprint guy, so go back, play this playlist, listen to all of these videos, and then put all of this together. I tell you guys all the time, the first investment you should make in yourself, the first investment you should make is in yourself, because anything that can make you a lot of money, which we all know real estate can also cost you a lot of money as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, bro. Yeah. So disposition.
Yes, sir.
How do you define disposition?
Okay, so disposition is how you collect your bag whenever you acquire a contract on a property.
Okay.
Okay. Now the key is to have a contract on a property. You have to make sure that you have to make sure that you legally have rights to the property. If you don't have the property under contract, you don't have any rights, which means that you're not protected. And so if you were to make some money, that it could be taken away from you. Okay?
Does that include earnest money? Because people say that about earnest money too. I need to have a contract and giving them earnest money by this point?
For sure. You got to have a contract first and then you give them earnest money. Just like we were talking about with the due diligence. You got to have a contract first and then you say, hey, well, if you sign this contract, I'm going to give you the earnest money. Okay. You know what I mean? So the contract is you have to. If you don't, where a lot of people will go messing up is they will have a conversation with the seller. They'll get them all motivated. They put that sauce on them. They come up with an agreement, and then they'll get scared and nervous. Yeah. And at that point, instead of signing the legally binding contract, instead of having faith, crossing past that fear, right, of signing the contract and being legally responsible for actually purchasing it, right? They'll just start calling people. They'll just start calling people and say, yo, I got this deal, but they really don't. Yeah. And then next thing you know, they find a person, right, that wants to give them the money to buy it, and that person kicks them out of the deal because they wasn't legally protected by having their signature and a date on some black and white paper. So that's most important. I can't, I got a free contract as well, so I don't mind passing it out for free. I'll shoot you the link for that. But most important, once you get the contract, remember we have different ways of acquiring property, okay? We have different ways of making money on each of those ways. Okay. All right, check this out. So we got an assignment.
What does that mean?
Every piece of paper is sellable. Okay? Every piece of paper is sellable. You go to Staples, you buy paper, you buy it, right? Yeah. So if you have paper, you can sell it. Okay? So that's simply you getting the property under contract in one of those ways that we talked about. Okay? And saying, okay, well, this is a cash deal for $100,000. Okay? For whatever reason, it benefits me not to use my money, not for me to own this property, right? It benefits me to find you, the cash buyer in this case, and say, hey, oh, you want to give me 120? That's fine. I'll go ahead and sell you this piece of paper, for the 20,000, the difference. I got it on a contract for 100. You said you're cool with giving me 120. I'll go ahead and I'll take that assignment fee, right, to give you this paper. So now you take my place. Okay. I don't go to the attorney's office no more. You go to the attorney's office. You bring your 120. Okay. The seller gets his 100. The attorney got a bag for me after you guys finish signing your paperwork. Okay. Like I said, you got to have it under contract first. The next way we're going to make money, but you can assign any of those contracts. You can assign a lease option. You can assign a seller financing deal. You can assign a subject to. If you get on paper, you can assign it. Okay.
But I need an attorney. So tell me, is there any criteria you look for, or just straight Google real estate attorney?
Well,
and also for the people out there that anytime they hear the word attorney, they hear big money.
No. Nope. Think advisor when you hear attorney. Okay. Think advisor. Think wise counsel. Okay. Think partner. Think tribe. That's what you should be thinking. Because once again, back to the first video, we're thinking millionaire mindset. You know? Millionaires understand that I'm not the best at everything. You're way better than me. Matter of fact, most millionaires these days, from what I understand on computers, they don't really finish college. Okay. So they hire people that finished college. Hence a lawyer, attorney. So change your mindset about that. Okay. So the next way we're going to make money, okay, the next way outside of the assignment is we're going to find a tenant buyer. Okay, a tenant buyer. Those are for the seller financing deals and for the subject to deals. Okay, so remember on the last video, we talked about that seller that I bought the subject to deal for. I needed $7,000 to give to the seller, right, in order to take over the payments. He wasn't gonna sell me the property without me giving him the $7,000. He's already providing the note, right? So he wants some money. Totally fine. The way I get the money is by finding a tenant buyer. Okay, I find someone who wants to buy a property, but for whatever reason right now they can't. So they're willing to give me a down payment to lock in their rights to buy it. They're willing to pay me monthly and take care of the maintenance. So with the tenant buyers,
hold on, we recorded?
Yeah. So with the tenant buyers, for whatever reason, they want to buy your house, but they can't qualify for a loan, right? So think about it. Some people jump into entrepreneurship. They don't file their taxes. They don't make an LLC. They ruin their credit trying to get their business started up, but they might make some money, right? But they just can't qualify right now. So typically those people will bring you a down payment, right? To lock in them buying the house, pay you monthly payments, right? So you can create cash flow every month and take care of the maintenance on the house. And then when they finally are, able to get a loan in 1, 2, 3 years, right? They're going to give you a back end check. Okay. And that's how I made money on that last deal. So young lady is bringing $10,000 down. Okay. Yep. She's bringing $10,000 down. Like I told you, I got it for $89. She's buying it from me for $135. Okay, so it was a spread on the price. I had to bring $7,000. She's bringing $10. So there's a spread on the front. My payment is $401. She's paying $1,250. Right. So front end check, middle check, and then a back end check when she goes to get her loan. Right. So you can do assignments. You can get the tenant buyer for your seller financing and your subject to deals, and you can also. And the way we're going to maximize on our lease options, okay, that's when we actually get a property on a contract by leasing the property out, is we're just going to sandwich lease those or assign them, okay? Meaning we're going to find one of those tenant buyers again. If we have to negotiate $2,000 down, then we're going to make sure we get somebody in for $5,000. If we have to bring $3,000, we're going to get somebody for $8,000. Whatever. We're going to make sure there's a spread on the front, middle, and the end. And if we want to just assign it, okay, we can just assign it as well. Okay. Now with the realtors, over time, your system will get better with with finding that right realtor, because it is going to take a few. Okay. But the easiest way to start making money with your retail leads, by helping your sellers who want retail, who have retail ready houses, who are ready to sell right now, that you can't, do a creative financing offer on or a cash deal offer on, is to work with a realtor to get their house sold for them. So what I suggest people do is sell the realtors leads. Okay, think about it. Zillow, the way they help realtors, okay, is they find people who want to sell their house, and then anytime they want to sell their house, they say, hey, Mr. Realtor, here's this person that wants to sell their house. They're ready to list. Pay me for the lead. So you can do the exact same thing. Literally, for a lead that's ready to go, I got the appointment set up for them. Right, the house is ready. They're ready to sell. I know what they want to sell at. I set the appointment up for them. $1,000 from a realtor. Right, and $1,000 might not sound like a lot, but for a lead, all I had to do was talk to them and say, hey, oh, you do want to sell? Oh, great. determine that, they don't want any of my investor friendly options, perfect. Pass it along and let them do all the work, and I get my $1,000 right now, and let them do their business, right? So I represent myself as the solution for their real estate needs, no matter what in the disposition, and that's how I make my money.
And you get that money up front. Reason why I'm asking you that is because a lot of people, they want to do these creative deals, but they're worried about how do I get my money? So in the past, I've seen that comment, okay, how do I ensure that I'm going to get paid if I tell this realtor, here's a lead, go do the deal, and they sell it and run off? So do you collect that money up front, or how do you ensure you get paid?
Okay, most realtors want to go by the book, and the way the book is written, they have to pay for the lead and not pay you for a referral. Okay. A referral will technically pay you more on the back end because, of course, if they have a $10,000 commission, then of course there's more room for you to make money. But on the front end, it's a lot easier to just sell them the lead, to sell them the seller's information, to say, hey, here's their name, here's the phone number, here's the address, and I set up the appointment for you next Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Okay. Oh, that's great. That sounds like a business in and of itself.
It is. It really is.
Just gonna find off-market deals and pair them with realtors.
Exactly. So you got to. That's what Zillow does. So you got to. You got to generate leads either way. Okay. The goal of real estate investing is to be able to make money off of all the leads. We call it no lead left behind. Make money on all of the leads. That's why I make more money than I did before, even though we was doing 110 deals, because I have a way to do business with everybody, no matter what you want to do. If you want to sell, if you want to sell today, that's why I said get the commitment. If you want to sell today, I can figure out something. Okay, I can figure out something. Now most people are gonna, want those bigger checks though. Most people will want the assignments, the $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 assignments. I've made a $30,000 assignment before. Most people want those. Okay, so let's talk about them real quick.
Before we get into that one specifically, my question for you is, what determines the disposition? Is it what the seller is willing to negotiate, or do you go into it saying, I want this as a rental, or I want this as a flip, or so for somebody watching and they're like, okay, we're getting into these disposition strategies, should they have the mentality like we talked about in the first video, that the seller, depending on what they're willing to do, that determines the disposition, or is it based off of what I want out of this?
So it doesn't have anything to do with you. Okay. Nothing to do with you. It's all about the seller. Okay. So let's say in acquisitions, you're talking to them and they say, hey, I'll accept your cash offer. Okay. You have to work with the cash offer now. You got to come up with the $100,000. It's worth $200,000. You got it on the contract for $100,000. You got to do an exit strategy to get them the $100,000. So in that particular case, the only thing you can do is assign the contract to somebody else for a little bit, for a little bit of a fee, or use private money to take it down. That's it. Or if somebody agrees to subject to allow you to take over the payments, you got to work within that. So. But if you're not using all of the acquisition tools, you're never going to have a chance to do some of the other things. Like you can't have every deal be a cash deal, because otherwise you won't be able to sell a house on payments. Okay. You won't be able to become the lender, which those are nice checks as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? So every deal can't be a seller financing opportunity, because otherwise you won't be able to do a flip and bring home a $70,000 check in 6 months. So you have to, in my opinion, as a real estate entrepreneur or real estate as an investor, right, who's trying to bring in checks, right, trying to bring in real estate consistent checks, you have to use all of them at the same time and roll with the seller however they want to roll. Whatever bullet they're willing to take, give them that bullet. Don't try to force anything down their throat. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Whatever their situation calls for, go with that. And then that's going to determine your exit strategy. Okay. Now, I will say I look at all of my exit strategies that I can use after I get a deal on a contract to see which way I can make the most amount of money off of. Okay. So if I'm going to make, let's say I'm going to make a $20,000 assignment. or that same cash deal, I can raise private money and I can do a flip on and get paid $50,000. Well, I'm not gonna take the $20,000 assignment. I'm gonna take the 50. But if I have to do a flip and I only get paid 30 and the assignment is 20, it's gonna take me 6 months to get to the 30. It'll take me 2 days to get to the 20. I'm taking the 20. So I do look at all of my options to see how I can maximize a deal. Okay. Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's the secret. That's the secret. Everybody pitches wholesaling, but you're not a wholesaler. You're a real estate investor. Okay? You're a real estate investor, and you really have to look at every deal critically and think about, how can I get paid as much as possible on this one deal versus how do I get 10 more deals? How do you make exactly what you want in this one deal? And that's honestly why I started raising money. Because I'm like, my buyer, I'll talk about how to find cash buyers in a second to sell your deals to. But my buyers were taking, one thing I started doing was, after I would make this $20,000 assignment, 6 months later, I'd go check the tax records to see how much money my buyer made. And so when we were selling them the deal, we thought they were going to make $30,000 or $40,000, but the market's been on the uptrend. So when we thought they were going to make 40, they were making 70. When we thought they were going to make 70, they were making 100. I'm like, I just made $5,000. So that's too much meat on the bone. So now, who are you going to sell these deals to? Okay.
So I want everybody not to miss any of this game. So with Disposition, we need a contract. That's the only way we legally have the agreement that I'm going to sell my property to him, or whoever you're dealing with is going to legally give you control of the property. Y'all agree to sell for this price at this date. And then you have to already know which one of the disposition strategies you're going to use in order to take this deal down. And like he mentioned, it is not based off of what you want, which I know might sound crazy, because a lot of you all are, I want to make $50,000 a month, I want to make $100 a month, but we're going to consider what can we realistically do and what can satisfy the seller. And think about all of the options that we have. Even if they want retail price, partnering with that real estate agent, getting that small referral fee. So yeah, I made $1,000 off of this instead of $100,000 off of this, but that was in the best interest of the seller. And we're in this business for the long run as well. So now that we're up to speed, we know we got a contract, we know which one of our disposition strategies make the most sense for us and the seller, so it's mutually beneficial. Now I need some money. So now you're gonna tell us about the cash.
So with the assignments, that's the quickest way to get to the bag. Okay. Quickest way. Now I will say, over time, like we're talking about, over time, after you get all of these assignment checks and money's not necessarily like a pressing issue, you definitely need to start exercising the other ones. But the assignments are the quickest way with no responsibility to make money. Period. Okay. Who's gonna buy the contracts? Okay. People that need real estate are everywhere. literally. Okay, let's think about this critically, so that way I want to get you guys' juices rolling, because there's so many people. And
I want you to get a little bit more specific with it, because I do know that from you guys telling me that there is a stigma that they feel that a wholesale deal or assignment deal is looked at like has to be something wrong with it. It can't be as good as a realtor deal for whatever reason. So when it comes to looking for these buyers, I kind of, if you can, tie it to that, because people feel like, well, how do I find buyers, but specifically buyers that are willing to buy from me, and I'm not a licensed realtor with Keller Williams or Remax or any big name like that.
That's for sure. So you remember the TV show Fixer Upper with Joanna and Chip Gaines? Okay, so before they actually got on the show, they didn't get paid to be on TV, right? They got paid to fix up houses and sell them. Okay, now they had 5 kids. Okay, so it's like, well, where did they find the houses from? Like, how did they get their inventory? Because technically, if it takes a flipper, a house flipper that fixes them up, they remodel the house and sell the house, and that buyer has to come in and get their own loan before they get paid. 6 months. That's a 6-month process. Sometimes a year process. like, how are they finding these deals?
Yeah.
You know, how are they finding these deals and working on them? Mm-hmm. You have to have the opportunity. So the wholesaler in this particular point gives somebody else the opportunity to have a job. Okay. Mm-hmm. The person that provides the opportunity is a job provider. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the best way for me to explain it. Literally, those people that you need are right in front of your face. Just like Joanna and Chip Gaines. I don't know how many people thought about that, but if you were in Waco at that time, you should have been calling them to buy deals. Yeah. You know, every time they walked one of their clients through a property, that was a wholesale deal. Yeah. They were walking them through a wholesaler's property. You know, so you have to find a way to have that inventory for them. So guys that fix and flip properties need it. In order to find them, all you got to do is drive. Once you see a person sign out there, JK Builders, whatever, you see a bunch of guys doing a full rehab, stop. Talk to them. They're buyers. Add them to your list, right? Yeah. You go on Zillow and you look at for rent houses. You're not trying to rent. You're just trying to get their phone number. It says, hey man, I see you're a landlord. Are you currently picking up more rental properties? Oh yes, great. What's your goal? I'm trying to get to 100. You got 50. Perfect. I'm gonna send you some deals. He's a buyer, right? You got guys like yourself who are entrepreneurs. Absolutely. The guys that are on EYL and all these other entrepreneurs, and they're making $500,000, $1 million in a year. They didn't realize they have taxes to pay.
I need real estate.
Real estate. They need real estate. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking for me, matter of fact, if you're watching this video, if you have deals in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, I'll put a link down in the description below, and you can add me to your buyers list personally. Yep. And if it's any good deals, I'll share them with the team. Yep. And hey, that's one resource right there for watching this entire video.
That's for sure. All right. Buyer right there. So that's lead generation. Good job. So, I mean, there's so many ways to find buyer. You can call a property manager. And of course, they manage properties for landlords. So you call them, hey, are you looking to grow your, properties that you're managing? Yes. Give me all your landlords' phone numbers. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Facebook groups and find these little niche groups who are all trying to learn real estate and find the buyers in there. So many ways to find buyers. You can go into the attorney's office where everybody's going to close their real estate deals. Just sit in the parking lot. See who pulls up. Boom. They're closing on a deal. Get their phone number. It is so easy to find buyers. Okay. There's buyers everywhere. Funeral homes are buying. Okay. Why is the funeral home buying? Well, they need land to put people in the dirt. Okay. They got to have the land to buy. You need to bring them the opportunity to buy. You see what I'm saying? McDonald's needs a place to build a McDonald's. Walmart has to build a McDonald's. So many buyers. There's so many buyers. Okay. And I just suggest whenever most people try to qualify buyers, but
I thought you having the money is the qualification.
Exactly. So I suggest don't qualify them. Just add them to your list, get their name, get their phone number. If you want to be conversational, you can find out what they prefer to buy and where they prefer to buy it. But I'm just making a list, and every time I get a deal, I'm sending it via email and text message. My deal, okay? I'm not gonna tell them how much I think the property's worth, okay? These people got egos. People with money, they think they know everything because they got money, okay? They figured out a way to make money unlike other people, okay? So they think they know. So don't tell them how much you think the property's worth. Just tell them, hey, I got this property at 123 Main Street. Here's a couple pictures. Here is the property tax records. Here is the GIS records. Here's the Zillow information on it. Make me an offer. That's it. I'm accepting offers for the next 7 days. Okay. I'm not taking the highest offer. I'm taking the best offer. I look forward to getting it. That's it. And literally you'll have these guys in your DMs, trying to persuade you, trying to take you out to lunch, trying to give you money. Okay. Now, the way you structure your assignment, honestly, most people don't tell you this, but you can get your assignment up front, or you can get your assignment at closing. You determine the way you want to do business. Okay. Of course, your assignment is always going to be lower if you're getting it up front. Okay. So if you want to make more money profit wise, you just wait until it gets to the attorney, to the attorney's table.
And I want to touch on the buyers even deeper. As somebody that I'm literally telling you that, hey, I look to buy deals every year. Talking to Sawan off camera, me and him gonna do some deals together, and I'm aggressively, like I said in this series, real estate is my retirement plan. So I buy real estate with every intention of holding on to it. So when I'm 80 years old and you guys don't want to see these videos, I'ma still be okay because I acquired properties throughout this whole process. But all of that to say, one thing that is 100% true is that I want to see deals coming in consistently. I only had, I had one realtor and one wholesaler. I was actively looking for buyers in my local area, which is now why I said, if you in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia and have a good deal, check the link down below. But the wholesaler stopped sending me deals.
Yeah.
Right? I bought one property from her. They stopped sending me deals. The realtor never stopped sending me deals.
Right.
I bought 2 properties at retail price only because when I was ready to buy a house, the emails come every day. I'm sure it's automated in some way. I don't even really care. But the fact that she continued to send me deals, keep in mind now, I bought from the wholesaler. I just met the realtor, told her what I was trying to do. She started emailing me deals. Like he said, she didn't ask me for proof of funds. All she wanted to know, name, email address, what you're looking for.
Right.
Cool. Every morning to this day, she sends me emails of properties, which is why I bought, even though it's only 2 properties from her, one from the wholesaler, I bought double the amount of properties only because they consistently reached out to me. So I want you guys to know in a very practical way, don't just watch this YouTube video and don't take action. Literally me, and I know other people that buy as well. And when I ask them, how did you find the property? Oh, I reached out to so-and-so, they emailed it to me, and I used them because they always email me. So 100% adding people to your buyers list, and hey, even if you don't ask them what they want, that actually works, right? I'm living proof of that.
For sure. For sure. I love following up. Actually, I do my best to not just send deals to my buyers. I try to educate my buyers. I try to connect my buyers to my insurance guy. I try to add value. So that way, when it comes time to negotiation, I have more than just a deal on the line, right? They see, they see my fee not as just a fee for the deal, right? That's how I make more money as well now too, because they see just the value in me. Like, well, Sawan is so valuable, he's worth me paying more for. And if the fee is less, well, it's like, hey, we got to come up with something else because that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. But yeah, man, that's how I'm making money. That's how I'm making money on them now. Honestly, this year my goal is not to do any assignments though, just because we're leaving so much money on the table. My goal is not to let anybody else make that money. I mean, I don't mind making the money with them, but I want to take part in some of that equity. So literally everything this year, no matter what the deal is, in some form or fashion. I just got some land under contract for $5,000. And I could have assigned it, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. But I'm just putting it on the MLS. I'm gonna wait until it sells,
So talk to us about how is that possible, right? How is it profitable for you instead of, like, let's say that land, if you got it for $5,000, instead of you could sell it to me for $15,000. Walk away with 10 today. How is it more profitable? Like you said, you don't want to do any assignment deals. For you to keep it for yourself instead of finding somebody that, hey, I'll take it. It's some meat left on the bone. I'll do something with it.
For sure. So literally, my job these days is it's just making connections with other people, okay, and providing a service to other people who have money, and I let them know, hey, I can pay you more money than what your money is making right now through these safe opportunities. So, people give me money. I find deals. I invest in those deals with everybody else's money. And then I'll make a even bigger check than what I was making before on assignments by using other people's money to buy it and by making them money, So just to help you understand again, I'll use other people's money from 401k, lines of credit, and cash that they just have liquid. They'll give it to me. right? They'll be protected by a deed of trust on that property and a promissory note, right? So when I go to sell that property, whenever that is, right, a part of those proceeds that person will get their money back, and they'll also get interest from that sale. So I'm really, the more relationships I make, right, the more money I'm going to have access to, which means the more properties I can buy, which means the more money I can make, and that's literally how I buy all of my deals. So I think right now we're on pace to do about the same that we did last year. So assuming we do 62 deals again, I'm going to buy all of them. All of them.
All right, you guys, so there you have it. Hey, in the next video, we're going to talk specifically about private money. You guys know that there is a live training going down, not a pre-recorded course, a live training. Sawan is going to be there to give you the game in real time, ask your questions in real time, and learn how to do this business the right way. All right, but stay tuned to the next video so that you guys can know some game on private money. The links down in the description below will allow you to tap in with Sawan, follow his social media, register for the training, see the other videos in his playlist. And until next time, to all my hustlers, stay hustling. JC Automations, I'm gone.